What?
So-
People listen to this?
People
I
like
thought we
us.
were just in your apartment.
What the fuck? Question: would you be performing with the SF Symphony with White Claw in one hand and your plastic trumpet with 4 keys in the other hand?
I thought if I'd made it to this point, it would be a White Claw in one hand and the conductor thing at the other.
The baton.
Ooh.
Not a conductor's thing, a baton.
So there's no trains.
Anyway, welcome to episode 10. Guys, this is a huge milestone. Welcome to What the Fact, episode 10. We have made it to 10 episodes.
It's also known as WTFAQ.
WTFAQpodcast.com.
10-year anniversary.
10
Not our
episode.
10-year anniversary of our first one.
Hey, I've thrown all you off, so
know.
I've done my part.
Has she
I'm gonna
fooled
just go
us?
home now.
I think I read, so I need to tell you guys, and I've mentioned this to you guys off air before, but I think the average number of episodes that most podcasts have is 7, so we've
What?
overcome that. We're at 10.
Overachievers. A+ student. A+ student.
A plus. What's our next milestone? Thank you for that trumpet sound.
You're welcome.
What's our next
That's all I know
milestone?
to do.
Should we be
The actual 10-year?
the actual 10 years? See you in 10 years, listeners.
When we are on episode 10,000.
Yeah.
Not 10,000.
1,000 a year? What type of stamina do you think I have
We're
here?
going to be doing
lot.
2 episodes a
A
day.
lot.
soon.
I don't. I'm gonna just set the precedent now. I have 0 stamina. None.
So, just congratulations, you guys. It's been a blast. I'm very happy. I'm Patricia, by the way.
I'm Ashley.
This guy.
This guy's
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Sorry, I know. I said that in one episode.
This guy.
And I thought it was funny, and I kept doing it. Is it still funny? I don't know
It's
anymore.
enraging a small group of Twitter followers.
That's all I can hope for.
Also, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, please check it out. I think it's WTFAQ Pod.
You think?
Or maybe
think?
just follow us on Instagram.
Instagram. But I'm also trying to step up our Twitter game, so there's going to be some good stuff there is coming soon. And by the time
Because
this
I'm
podcast
really
comes
bad
out,
at the Twitter situation.
By
I
the
was
time
given
this-
its task for like a week or 2, and I failed miserably
I'm like,
by
I'll take it
doing
back.
literally nothing.
So there's more Twitter stuff coming out. So check it out. I'm pretty sure it's WTFAQ Pod. So check that out. But also our Instagram is WTFAQ .podcast. So check that out. That's where you're going to get the funniest pictures in the world. Like Ashley's been doing a great job. So
We all
Love
have.
it.
You guys are the great content.
Well, it's all the good one-liners that you throw in front of very hilarious photos, and it's good stuff.
Mostly sunsets and penises.
That's all it should
it's my
be.
favorite kind of content.
It's like the inspirational quotes, but like barely offensive quotes.
Can I
Or
also just say really
inspirational images.
quickly? I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with this episode, but I just really want to bring it up because I just got a really fantastic text
Yes.
Yeah.
from my father, Magic Mel, that just says, "What is the acronym for the gay and lesbian and trans community?" And all I want to do is answer and showcase how progressive my father is.
That's great. 'cause
And just
my
how
father is
accepting
not.
and wonderful he is as a human being. And it just
Magic
makes me
Mel.
so thrilled.
We love you, Magic Mel.
Seriously, Magic Mel is incredible. Mel is a saint. Like
Mel.
we've all agreed Mel is a saint. I just really wanted to say that. Sorry, I'm gonna answer this text
I
now.
wonder one day when we get there if we should do like one parent with us during an episode.
Like we all have a parent. in
Yes.
here.
It's like bring your parents to work day, but it's like bring them to the pod day.
Well,
Parents pod day.
My dad does visit once a year.
Ooh, we should do that.
That would be the most awkward. My dad would say 0 words the whole time.
Or maybe he'd be hilarious. You don't know.
No, I can guarantee you. Anyway, we received a great email that's kind of sent that I want Ashley to talk us through this email.
So yeah, I want to thank this listener. It looks like he's from Quebec, in
Quebec.
Canada. Quebecois, if you will. And he sent us a really nice email where he sent us a question, which I don't know, should we reveal it now?
Let's
Maybe
say-
later.
We're going to save your question. You know who you are. We're saving your question for our first true listeners episode.
Yeah, great question.
Great question.
And also love the tidbits, recognizing that you've actually listened to our episodes.
Yes.
So should I read this part?
Yeah,
Maybe.
read where he calls out
So
Stephanie.
he definitely calls out Stephanie.
Rude.
And I would do like my French Canadian accent, but it generally just turns Russian. So I
Mine-
feel like I would alienate everyone. So I'll just read it as is.
Fair.
Oh, and I have a small correction for you, Stephanie. In episode 7, you mentioned that you own several things that would play DVDs. You mentioned a Wii. Unfortunately, your Wii won't play DVDs.
My
Get-
Wii does nothing.
Get your facts straight.
Your
with
Wii does
caps
nothing.
lock. So
Oh.
he just assaulted me in the face.
I mean, that's totally fair. I don't want to have excuses. This is on me. These are not my devices, but sure.
I feel like
I'm incorrect.
right
we'll
now,
just go with it.
what you're saying is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger admitted to having a love child, that was your like defeated speech.
Am I Arnold or am I Maria Shriver?
Ooh, shit. Arnold for sure, all
No,
day. It's
uh-uh.
not the tumor.
I feel like I'm a little
Get in the chopper.
less accepting of being Arnold than I am of Maria Shriver
I
at this
mean,
moment.
Fair.
I
It
don't
also
know.
said-
these are my machines. I just something sometimes plays shit.
Well,
Sorry.
he also said, love the show. Thank you for the feedback. And he
Thank
said,
you.
Subway, 5 stars. So you know what, listener? You might be getting a gift someday because we did say
Someday, you mean as soon as we see you?
Yeah, I mean, we could send it via, cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin.
We could just give him gold shillings.
We're gonna just send you the Subway in the mail and just hope to God it's okay when it gets to you.
And
like-
it's not going to be a 6, it's just going to be 2-3 inches.
Didn't we do?
Oh,
Didn't you name it a mini? What did you call it last
I
episode?
know. What was it? Like
It's
a
really
small,
funny.
small sub?
Yeah,
No. It was a
stubby
good
sub,
name.
a stub sub.
Stub sub.
Oh, gross.
Oh no.
Gross.
Ooh,
So not
3
only are
inches.
we not getting you the full size sub, we're getting you a miniature worse version of it and
No, no, no.
mailing it to you.
But because you emailed us, we
Frankenstein
will send you
version.
we will get you a Subway gift card.
Yeah.
Just wait. You may
And we
not know when
appreciate
and
the
where,
feedback.
but you'll be
Yeah,
getting one.
no, definitely always call me on my shit. Like, in an episode or two ago, I slurred, as I do often, and I said John Lennon instead of John Legend. Slurring, I get it. There's a problem. My therapist knows.
And also, hello, Stephanie's therapist. If you're still listening, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So excited to see you soon. Ooh.
But episode 10, you guys, I'm just so happy. I've truly enjoyed doing this podcast with you guys, and episode 10 is a big milestone for us. Granted, we're gonna look back after episode 100 and say, man, our episodes like 1 through 50 were so bad, but we're having a good time.
Or the best.
We're the best. We just regressed since then.
Yeah, regressed.
But we're having a good time, and thank you guys. If you've listened to all 10 episodes, congratulations. And
Let us
thank you.
know.
Let us know.
We'll
Yeah.
give you some Subway.
Stephanie. Don't promise that.
Meanwhile, we just get bankrupt by how much money we have to spend
I
on
just-
Subway. That's
No.
the way we go, is
No.
through Subway.
You don't think you could get a full catering situation? We didn't say the size of the Subway.
So we were like, oh, so you have to travel to us to get Subway. Too
Yeah.
bad you can't
we
meet
just
us
get
there.
this catering platter, which isn't that much money, and you only got like 2 to 3 inches of something.
A stub
That's
sub.
going to be either given to you when you get there or sent to you because you weren't there.
So someday when we do start doing live shows and have like a meet and greet, we'll just give away Subway to everybody.
Also,
You win.
FYI, Ashley and I have read a shit ton of contracts, so we know all the legal A's and the ways to get out of most shit. So
Anyway.
you're gonna get your 2 to 3 inches of a Subway sandwich sent to you in Portugal because this is
yeah.
what we promised.
We
We're not going back
be
on any
clear-
contracts.
To be clear, we haven't promised a thing.
You just wait, Steph. Like, a listener's gonna email in to be like, where's my foot-long sub, fuckers?
Nope, and I will go through all the transcripts and figure out all the reasons why that was wrong.
She
And then
will
I'm gonna
find
say-
you.
We only have
And
stub
when
subs.
you do, I will give you half of a sub.
That's a
I will
sub.
split that with you as we just angrily eat our Subway.
So Stephanie will spend hundreds of dollars to go to Portugal to give you an eighth of
I
a
go to
Subway
Portugal
sandwich.
for this. I'm going to use my current legal counsel.
Anyway, before we promise the world to people, or stub subs to people, we're gonna jump right in. We have some really good questions, and I think I do have to retract too. Last week, I think I said, "Hey, next episode is the Halloween episode." I don't know what the calendar looks like, and so
When
apparently
are we?
we have plans to do a Halloween episode. However, next week is closer to Halloween than this week, so I'm sorry for being an idiot.
No, you weren't an idiot.
If you want to feel sorry, I just got schooled by my father
By what? By his...
on the definition of LGBTQA.
Was he just like quizzing you?
Yeah, I knew. He literally said, quick question, what's the acronym for the gay, lesbian, trans, like the whole LGBTQ community? And I said it, but I like transposed the T and the Q, and then he responded with definition, LGBTQA, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, asexual. He just schooled me
Yeah.
on San Francisco.
But you know what? I love that he was asking you, which he could clearly look this up.
to ruin me.
This was a power move, Mel.
This was a power
move.
I'm
Mel-
gonna respond with
Mel's
power
first
move.
Google is Stephanie, and then Google.
I'm not joking. I'm responding power move.
All right, Mel.
Ugh,
We hear
Mel.
you, Mel. We're
Saint
ready for
Mel,
it.
I love you so much.
All right, let's dive into the questions. We've got 3 really good ones again this week. So, first question is mine this week. And this is something that I've thought of quite a bit throughout my life, mainly when I was younger, but also just throughout my whole life. So, if you had to pick a new name for yourself, what name would you pick?
Wait, what? Wait, no.
If you
Seriously.
had to pick a new name for yourself,
If you
A
had
new
to,
rec-
if you
What?
had to pick a new name for yourself, what name would you pick?
I feel like you know already.
For there's literally no reason. You're just like, oh, I don't like the name Patricia. I want to be this.
Yeah, like what name would you want to be instead of Stephanie?
I mean, I have the names that, like, if I had daughters that I would have chosen for.
No, for yourself. If you let's say that you were forced to change your name, and someone's like, "You're now part of the CIA. We need to have a new name for yourself." What would you choose for your new name?
I don't want to answer over you guys. I mean, I think I have a response. It would have been kind of similar to what I would have named one of my illegitimate daughters.
What would you name? Well, Stephanie,
You want me to
I don't
name
know.
this?
What?
I mean, I can go first.
Yeah, go
Go for it.
So I have 2 favorite names, of which if I had daughters, this is what I would have named them. But one of which is Veronica. The reason being, I've always been a huge fan of the Archie comics.
Oh yeah.
And so Betty and Veronica, they're literally the names of my boobs.
What are the
Betty
names
and
of your
Veronica,
boobs?
yeah.
Oh my
What
god.
about
Veronica
Archie?
is smaller than No, wait. Betty and Veronica. Yeah, no, Betty's the bigger one. I'm right-handed, so Betty's the left one. So there's Veronica
Question.
and Betty.
Is Archie just the name for below?
Archie is not a part of my body.
But it can be at any
So
given time.
I like Veronica. I would not have named anything Betty. But Veronica was one of the names, and so the thought of Veronica and the shortened name of Ronnie, I thought was super, super cute. The other name, which is another very like big name I've always loved, is Amy, because I've always loved the song Amy by Pure Prairie League.
Mm.
It's a really good band, and one of the songs is called Amy. So
Okay.
those would have been the 2 names. Also the names I would have had for daughters.
Amy and Veronica.
Amy and Veronica,
Okay.
but Ronnie ultimately and Amy.
Fair.
So I'll go with Ronnie
Ronnie.
Hmm.
All right, Ronnie.
because
You-
of
I can see
my
you.
right tit, because she's smaller.
I can totally see you as a Ronnie, a Veronica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. But until then, I'm Stephanie, and as much as my father won't admit it, I think it's because of Saturday Night Fever. The main girl, her
Yeah.
name is Stephanie.
Mm.
He's like, no, it's not because of that. I'm like, there's no other reason. Given the time frame, it was definitely that.
Oh,
Fair.
parents.
I know.
Ouch.
Oh, Mel.
Can you imagine if your name was? Do you think if your name was Veronica that you would be any different than you are now?
Okay, so I have a lot of feelings about this. So
I do too.
my original name should have been Elizabeth. Fun fact.
But it wasn't because.
Because, so not only do I have a lot of problems in life, I had a lot of problems before life. One which of being, nobody knows if I've had the chickenpox.
What?
My mother contracted the chickenpox
How
with
does
me.
this relate to Elizabeth?
Let me tell you how.
Okay.
When my mother was 4 months pregnant with me, she got the chickenpox from my oldest brother, Garrett.
Hmm.
And the doctors basically told her in the mid-80s, a couple things could happen here. Stillborn, or she's going to have some crazy skin disease where she might look scaly.
So it was the latter.
Whoa.
Elizabeth could easily become Lizard Lizzie,
Oh,
Elizabeth,
so
blah,
your mom was
blah, blah,
protecting
blah,
you.
blah, blah, blah. Therefore, thank you, Dad. He got naming rights and he named me Steph. Stephanie. And there's nothing that could be that would come back to being lizard-ish. Nor was I was not stillborn. I was not scaly. Not that I know of.
But
I
do have a friend
People
named
could be nice
Elizabeth,
to
and
me.
we called her a lizard quite a bit.
Yeah,
Oh.
right?
So I could see that. Yeah.
So if you had scaly skin, could you imagine
oh
the
hell,
torment?
yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
Hey, but everything's all right.
Isn't that all right?
Yeah,
feel-
all right.
I feel like this question has multiple different tangent points.
Like the whole like rapper name versus.
Ooh, I mean, can we? I can't. There's so much. There's so much in rapper names. Let's put that. Let's put that separately because I want to spend some time on
I
that.
do too. Yep.
I would say, oh, okay. I really like I don't know if I would take this name, but I really, if we were going to like a daughter's name, I really like the name Charlie.
I know a girl named Charlie.
I think it's a very cute name.
It is a very cute
And
name.
I've met some other babies that are named Charlie, and they're so adorable. And I like, I don't know. I think it's really cute, and it's not too. Obviously, it's not too girly. It sounds more masculine than it does, feminine. But I just love that name for like little girls.
I do too. Like Charlize Theron. Do you think she was like called Charlie?
Well, she's Charlize Theron. Am I making it sound fancier than what it is?
You're probably correct. However, do you think people called her Charlie?
Probably.
Or like Charlie?
Charlie's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
But to Stephanie's point of how we were named, my other name outside. So my parents wanted to have a name that didn't have a lot of nicknames, which is funny because I've had a lot of nicknames from Ashley.
Absolutely.
But the other name they were considering was Shannon.
Oof, you're not
Can
a
you
Shannon.
imagine if I was
whatsoever.
a Shannon?
No, you're not. Nothing against Shannons, but you are not a Shannon.
Everything against Shannon.
Fuck the Shannon.
God damn it, Shannon.
You're not a Shannon.
I mean, what? I mean, isn't that? I hear that name. I'm like, that is not me.
Well,
That is
okay.
not.
To kind of counteract that, what are the nicknames for Ashley?
Ash. I've been called Shelly.
Shelly from
I have.
Ashley.
I have. That's a
Can-
stretch.
Isn't
Can
Shelly
I
like
explain
Michelle?
the one nickname Stephanie has?
What?
Steph?
And it was used against
Fanny?
me? I wish it was Fanny. That at least has some creativity.
What?
Effany?
Step on me.
What?
Which then landed me in the principal's office.
Wait, did you
What?
step on someone?
Sure did. When you're in elementary school and somebody nicknames you step on me and you're like you're not an abnormal, like I wasn't abnormal
Yeah.
sized at that moment. And somebody, well, because I'm taller now. But then I was fine. Like I was normal. To have somebody say step on me and then I do and then get sent to the principal's office and I'm like, why are you here? And it's like, 'cause somebody literally said step on me.
and so I did it.
Like what's the problem? That I followed directions?
Or that I followed my future?
Or that I followed my future? What is the actual diagnosis we're getting at here?
I wish that you went into the principal's office and spoke like an oracle and was like, this is my destiny. It's like, what?
Seriously. But I mean, that's a huge thing to think about what the possible nicknames are and what they could
Yeah.
be. And if the worst is step on me or
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
whatever.
Yeah.
Ash. Ash is awesome, by the way. That's the main character of Evil Dead. And that's fucking awesome.
And every video game now has a character named Ash, I swear.
Really?
Because it's the best character.
I mean, it's the most one of the most common names of the 80s.
Really?
Like, for
Ash?
children
Well-
born in the 80s, yeah.
Evil Dead.
I mean, look at the Olsen twins. There's so many like
Ashley.
yeah,
Not
Ashley.
Ash.
Yeah, but I mean like Ashley in general is like
Fair.
a crazy common 80s
Or Mary
child.
Kate.
What about Mary Kate?
What about her?
Is she still doing cocaine and
They
married to a
both
75-year-old?
No.
Why are they
Oh.
both married to 75-year-olds? I don't understand.
I have nothing against the Olsen twins.
No, I actually
Especially
really
since
like that.
Elizabeth is the best one.
Is she?
Ooh. Yeah, she's the one who does all the great movies.
Yeah, but the other
Is
ones
she a
have a
sister to them?
whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
She's the
Yeah.
younger sister and the one who actually does good
Wait,
things.
she's younger than them?
Yeah, she's younger.
But
Oh,
I
she
will
feels
say,
old.
the Olsen twins have
Yeah.
their whole fashion line. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
they're billionaires.
It's incredible.
We can say whatever we want. They'd be like, whatever, we're billionaires. And we'd be like, you're right.
We'll wipe our
we have
$100
nothing.
out our nose. And throw it at
Wait,
you.
question though. How do you think, as a parent, you'd feel if your child married someone that was older than you?
I don't think I'd care. I don't think my parents would care.
Really?
Come on. We now know we know a good
guess.
amount about Mel.
Mel.
And Mel's like, as long as you're happy.
Well, my
And same
dad's-
with my mother. Be like, I don't, whatever.
That
as
would
long as
require
you're
me to
happy.
marry somebody who's like almost 80.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
Nicole-
is there a lot
Anna
of money
Nicole
that's
Smith.
gonna happen if they expire? And I'd be like, there might be. And they'd be like,
expire.
and they'd be like, that's cool.
I don't
They'd
know.
like skate around the subject, but like ultimately be like, that's cool.
all but one guy I've dated in my life has been younger than me.
every
I've only-
every guy you've dated.
all but one guy I've ever dated in my life has been younger than me. So I think if I
Right.
could choose my name, so my original name was supposed to be Mabel.
Oh,
Because my dad had a thing for like old fashioned
18th century English.
Yeah.
Be still my heart, Mabel.
Mabel, get in here with your polka dot dress. But
Oh my God.
my mom wanted to name me Erin. So it was Erin or Mabel.
I could see Aaron for you.
Yeah,
Aaron
I
is a
could.
cute name.
I could.
that was like when my mom was in love with that name, but then her best friend had a kid right before me and named her daughter Erin. My mom was like, she stole the name. Whatever. I was Patricia. My parents compromised from an old name and more modern, I guess. So I was Patricia. But Patricia has so many different iterations. I could be called Pat, Patty, Patsy, Patricia, Trish, Trisha, Trixie.
I do like Trixie.
Trixie. That's
Yeah.
my name after 9 p.m.
What does Trixie do after 9
I can
p.m.?
only think of the cereal.
I'm not gonna
There's
tell
nothing.
you.
I know.
what I
I'm
do.
so sorry. Tricks are for kids. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of opportunities. So
Silly
I used to go by
rabbits.
Patty when I was younger, and I've always wanted to transition over to Trisha. That's always been my dream. So I've been like slowly edging to that name.
Do you want
throughout
us
my
to
life.
start calling you Trisha at all times?
No.
We can ask
But we
the
can't.
listeners on Instagram which one they prefer.
They would say Trixie because I know that they're right.
Trixie? Or no, I could just give them an option of Patricia or Trisha.
Or Trixie.
And then we're just going to let a bunch of random strangers name you.
Choose my future.
Seems the right
No, but-
choice.
You
That
have
was,
to get it
um,
tattooed.
So I had a of my own name.
With the fan listener's face next to
Oh,
it, so
yes.
that
Oh,
they know where it
yeah.
came
And I want to
from.
get it on my neck too, please.
No, you
No,
own-
no, no.
throat
no.
tattoo is one of the most aggressive tattoos you could do.
Too aggressive.
Too aggressive.
Too aggressive.
Not
Wasn't
aggressive enough.
Too aggressive.
Why?
Because it's the hardest to cover.
Why do you need to cover it? If you're getting a tattoo, like maybe
There are moments you want it to be shown, but then what statement are you making if you're going to a job interview or whatever? And it's just like a right on your neck.
I think
Just
it depends
right
on
there in the open.
the type of place you want to work.
Yeah.
You know?
I think our company we work for currently would be okay with it.
I mean, if I came in with a teardrop tattoo on my face, I don't think a lot of people would be surprised.
But if you came in, my hope is that if you came in and you just didn't say anything, and I would come in shortly after that was like, she's my bitch now. And I feel like that would get the right amount of reaction.
We go to our new manager and we're like, shut it. Shut it.
Before I put another tear
Fuck
tattoo on my
up.
face.
Yeah.
Flip some tables and
I
throw
like
some
that.
chairs.
I like that. Yeah.
I
it's
feel like
pretty
he would
aggressive.
laugh, maybe.
I think
TBD, we'll find out in life.
disintegrate.
We'll find out if we still have a job after this.
What's meant to be is what's meant to be.
Yeah. But I think so. We have a couple minutes left on this question. So let's think about like, what do you guys have for your rapper names?
Oh, I haven't prepared for this.
gosh.
I only have DJ names
Okay,
and
that's fine.
roller derby names. I don't have a rapper name.
So let's do the whole one. What is the name where you like choose like the street you grew up on and your
You mean
first?
the prostitute stripper name?
You mean all of my passwords and security questions?
Yes, and your social security number.
Yeah,
Please
no,
share
not
with me.
answering that shit.
So I think if I had like a pen name though, if I had a pen name where I had to be somebody else, I've always wanted to be Trisha T. Park.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You also sound Korean.
And married to
Because
Randall
of
Park.
Park.
Because of Park.
I would
Is
be
that
married to
racist?
Randall Park.
No.
Oh yeah, Randall Park.
Mm.
Alright. I would
Give me
just
a
go
slice
by
of
my
that.
roller derby name.
What is that?
TKO. K spelled out like my last name. Like
Oh.
total knockout.
Ooh.
What up, bitches?
That's a nice name.
That's my roller derby name.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work well in high professional situations.
TKO.
Or would it? I just call me TK.
I
Call
would
me
be
TK. I sort of love that.
Total knock.
I would be
Ouch.
DeFanny, but with PH instead of F. DeFanny.
Oh my gosh.
But my name actually does have kind of Fanny in it, though.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
You'd
it's
be like-
Fanny.
Man, you've
That's
got all the
funny.
good names going for you there.
It's
So-
just an 80s cyclone of madness. Maybe I just call myself KO.
KO.
Yeah, it'd be like knockout.
That'd be great.
So I found this rap name generator.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
but
oh
it's
my
not
god, oh my god, oh
as
my god, oh my god.
as there's a better one that I like, but you would be called Silk Stephanie.
Silk Stephanie.
Silk.
Silk Stephanie. I feel like you
What about
definitely
me
be
as Silky?
R&B.
Because I feel like
Be-
it's not much.
Silky, like the
I'm-
black chickens.
I'm not Silky.
You'd be Red Patricia Dog.
What?
Whoa.
Can I see that?
Whoa.
Red Patricia Dog?
I don't know.
I
what
mean,
that
I went to
means.
grad school in Georgia, and we wore colors were red and black, and we were the dogs, the bulldogs.
Let me try a different one. I'm gonna do a different one. Let's see what your name is on this other one.
Okay,
Oops,
No.
this is gonna be a male one.
so I like the street I. The street I grew up on was Park Street, so this is always like why I've gone back to Park. And my first animal's name started with a T, so I always went with Trisha T. Park. But
Oh,
these
man.
generators, though, are kind of interesting. What have you got?
This is my favorite. P. Patty Love Soul, aka Dizzy Rhymes.
Dizzy Rhymes! Dizzy Rhymes up in
Dizzy
here, up in
Dizzy
here. I would
Rhymes.
love to be Dizzy Rhymes.
That's a great name. Let's see.
What's your name?
Let me find. I'm just putting in Stephanie's.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie. Royal S. Steffi Booty. These are so great.
What's your name?
Let's see. Right, people who are listening to this are like, "What the fuck are they just googling while on the podcast?" Mine is. I didn't like the first one. The
Okay.
first one was bad.
Second one is
The second one, I'm between the second and the third. Jamie A. Deja.
Jamie A. Deja.
I don't know what that means. Why are these all food related? The third one is Miss Ashy Cherry Cookie.
Yes! Dizzy Rhymes, nasty cherry cookies, throwing the beat.
Hey,
man.
Royal Steffi Booty. That's your name, girl.
Steffi Booty, Dizzy Rhymes, and Ashy A. Cherry.
Dizzy Rhymes. Yeah.
I'm Dizzy Rhymes.
Ashy Cherry Cookies. That's too much. It sounds like a Mrs. Fields' new cookie.
Hey there, Miss New Booty.
Bring it back. Bring it back to me at the Players
Hey.
Club for $1 or $2.
All right. So let's wrap this question up. We're now going to hand the question over to question number 2. What would your name now? Cherry Cookies?
I don't know. Just call me Mrs. Fields.
Okay.
So my question is, so Stephanie and myself are in the business of advertising media, and I think it's very interesting. Like, I don't always pay for the ad-free programming because I want to see what ads are being shown, stuff like that. Well, I think it's really interesting what ads are served to you. So I have 2 questions. What ads are served to you, and what do you think that says about you, or what people think about what you're looking at?
Okay, I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Is it what is being served to me as a platform that can be ad-supported versus ad-free? Or is it just in general?
Oh, interesting.
Because these are 2 very different questions.
Why do you think they're different?
Because I do subscribe to a fully like Netflix, Amazon Prime,
Uh-huh.
Hulu, completely ad-free situation.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, because we're in the advertising field and we know what's actually going on, I literally talk to you about something and all of a sudden I'm on
Oh,
Facebook
true.
and they're that product.
They're
is.
listening.
Mhm.
I would say the freemium models where they have the options where you don't have ads but you're serving.
I pay for not.
You pay for everything? Okay,
Well,
so
okay, so sort of. So I pay for Netflix, I pay for Amazon, and I share an account with my brother-in-law
Mhm.
for Hulu.
Okay.
And then I also have Comcast. So beyond all of that, like there are commercials with Comcast that I fast forward.
So ads that you're served. So say you go to like a Wall Street Journal article. What ads are
Okay.
being hit to you there?
So okay, that's a fair question. If I'm going to an SF Chronicle, because
Yeah.
that makes the most sense to me, what's being hit to me is something ridiculous. It usually has something to do with some sort of old age, something that'll make my back or
Or get
or
rid of your
something better.
gout.
Like, here's this device that will improve your posture.
Oh, so your
Wow,
ads obviously
Steph.
think that you're like 65 plus years old.
Which is how I am on the inside. So that
Fair.
that matches. I also get a lot of advertising for ramps for dogs. Which, to be
Oh.
fair, it did get me, and I did end up buying one a couple days ago, so it knew.
Like a ramp for
I
your dog
knew.
to get like into bed and on
Yeah,
couches
to get
and
on the
stuff?
bed, to get on
Fair.
the couches, like this not too steep, but
I had
pretty
one.
long ramp situation.
I had
because
one
my
of
dog
those
is
with my dog.
IBDD, and like that's the
Yeah.
shit I have to deal with. And so I think it knew, it listened, it followed my purchase history, whatever it was, it knew that you're going to spend all the money on your dog.
Yep, it knows.
Here's all the advertising, and I look at all of it, and I buy half of it.
So I did the thing on Google where you can look at what it thinks you are. There's a way that you can tell,
What?
like you can go into like the ads and go into your profile and it says like, here's all the descriptors that they have for you.
Okay, I did that for Instagram, and it told me I was like a hot rod guy,
Well, similarly,
which was
Google
fun.
for some reason thinks I'm a 13-year-old boy.
It's because you're a gamer.
It is because I play video games,
Oh,
and I
weird.
call bullshit on that because it keeps serving me ads that are like, join the army. And like, listen, if you saw me, you would not want me to join in the army.
I would
No.
get a discharge, not honorable, immediately.
Also, good job, Google, for your targeting.
I know.
It's all fake.
All
We've created this
bullshit.
like
Except for the Doxton ramps.
yeah.
So the other thing is, though, I have two other comments about this. So one of them, I just showed these guys off air, I guess you can say, before. But I was hit with an ad that was a very, like, sexual-ish ad. It was, like, a device that helps you strengthen your Kegel muscles.
Pelvic
Kegel
floor.
exercises. Pelvic floor muscles.
I don't. Do you think most people know what pelvic floor means?
I mean, if you've had any sort of surgery, I've known anybody who's had surgery in that nether regions and had any sort of mesh or this or that. Yeah, there's
we gotta break it down because there's a lot of men listening to our podcast.
Kegels. We're talking about Kegels.
Do you think men understand what that is?
That is where you have a muscle around the walls of. I mean, is it your vagina? I don't even know well enough.
Inside, up in there.
Is
Yeah.
But it basically it strengthens it and it loosens and strengthens and so basically it makes it one tighter, two so you don't like pee yourself randomly. Not to say that we just pee ourselves, but
to the men out there, women are just not secretly peeing on themselves all
we're
day.
not always peeing on ourselves. That's not a thing that happens. But it just keeps everything
Tight.
up and tight.
So this ad I got served was for a device that, like, lets you work on those muscles to play a video game. So somehow I figured out that I'm not a 13-year-old boy, but I am a woman who needs to worry about strengthening her muscles down there
Your pelvic floor.
through a video game, which is
Weird.
a weird way to take this. And I don't know. Look it up on your own if you're interested. I'm not going to advertise for it here.
We're not sponsoring this.
But I want to say one last thing around like
Or maybe.
ads before I let you answer this, Ashley. But if you look through my mail, I get so much mail from the AARP, and I've received mail from the AARP since I was 12 years old.
I've also gotten ARP.
Yes.
Yeah, I get a lot of ARP and Wayfair.
We should explain what AARP is because
Yeah,
is that
so
just
for
a
those
US
who aren't
thing?
from the
I
US,
don't know.
I think it's like the
It's like old people's magazine.
it's something for retired people. It's something AA retired people, whatever. But it's like they offer like insurance. They offer like just guidance for people who are retired and a lot older. But I've received this mail since I was 12. So somewhere out there in the world, somebody told the AARP that I was an old person when I was not. So they're gonna think I'm the oldest mother effing mofu. Old person when I do actually retire. They're gonna be like, oh man, she's like 200 years old and she's finally retiring.
I just envision you as a kid getting this, and you're like, finally, someone who gets me. And it's like life insurance pages and like back support.
And I put him in my scrapbook.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's in her closet of tchotchkes. It's
Yeah.
just a scrapbook of AARP.
Oh my god.
ARP. That's good. That's good. I love how both of yours have a theme of just like old people, right? I mean, that's what
My
it sounds
answer?
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is the complete opposite. So I get a lot of ads, and I'm just talking about my Spotify
Do you
ads.
still get Hot Topic direct mail?
No, because I'm not an angsty 14-year-old.
Still Hot Topic.
Hot Topic was this store, and I don't know if it's outside the U.S., but it's a store from the early 90s.
It's still around.
Yeah.
But it was hot in the
Really?
Hot Topic was hot in the 90s.
Yeah, and
In
they
the early 2000s.
Yeah, they have a lot of angsty but goth-ish styles, but punk.
It's not goth. That's what Avril Lavigne is wanted to be.
Like a yes.
It's like Skater Boy.
Yeah, that's
Said,
true.
See you later.
That's
boy.
true. No, but my Stephanie, can you sing that?
He wasn't good enough for her.
What are the
that
next
was
lyrics?
that was equally as good as my singing in the last
What are the
episodes.
next lyrics? I don't even remember the next
He
lyrics.
was a skater boy, and the later boy. She's
I can't do more than that. When she married that guy from Nickelback, you lost me.
I used to love that song though. Anyway,
Are you gonna hate me because he's Canadian?
Hey.
but anyway, Hot
Hey.
Topic was
Hey.
the store.
Oh yeah. But I don't know how we got to Hot Topic, but
Doesn't matter.
anyways, the ads that I get are for Bush's Beans.
What?
And I get a crap ton of that on Spotify, and I also get a lot of Orange Theory, so they basically think I'm a frat boy.
Come work out and eat beans.
Yeah, this is what happens when you listen to primarily 90s hip hop, some
That does not
smooth
fit, though.
R&B, and then randomly
Interesting.
Paramore.
Interesting.
I get a lot of that, so I'm definitely segmented as a frat boy.
Oh my
For those
God.
not familiar, fraternity brother, part of the
Fraternity boy.
social Greek system in the
Oh
Americas.
my God.
Isn't that weird?
That is a little interesting. Yeah, I get a lot of like, you're probably having some sort of joint issues, but also you want to store shit in specific containers, yeah? So I get a lot of like e-bags and container store.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? That's pretty awesome. I love the Container Store.
Yeah,
I
it
do
was pretty
too.
great.
I
No,
could spend
it's
so much money in there.
all the money.
Oh man.
You just live in a house full of plastic containers.
I just live in one giant container with a bunch of small compartment containers.
You have a
as
container
rooms.
for your containers.
So have we gone back to episode 9 where Stephanie just lives in an LED jail?
Oh, this whole time? It
This
was
whole
all
time.
just like...
You were in the Container Store. In fact, you were living in the container.
But that doesn't sound like a jail as much as a like I've been locked up in some sort of like keeping me contained against others.
Oh.
And this is just the wall situation that's been portrayed in front of me to feel like a normal outside world.
So you're being protected versus
I'm being protected from others, not
why
the
did
other
you
way
go
around.
there? Why?
Why would a jail go through that much effort for me?
Maybe you're super dangerous.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe your sleeper agent hasn't been awoken yet.
That's
You're the Kraken.
We're literally saying the same thing, but I'm saying as the Kraken, you're putting me in a container where I have a very appealing wall portrayal in front of me.
So you don't like become a massive threat.
Exactly.
They're just
You're
keeping
just
you
keeping
calm.
me very
Like-
calm
like
with
pink-
containers.
Like pink paint in a prison.
No, pink isn't that calming. Blues are calming.
But I thought like they painted the walls like Pepto-Bismol pink in prisons.
No,
because,
I
like,
thought they actually went back through that and found out it wasn't as calming as they thought. That's why they went back to blues.
Fair.
We just go into Stephanie's apartment and it's just black everywhere.
You've been there.
I
Is there
know.
any black?
No, there's no black. It's very calming. I'm sorry. Don't
I
hurt
know.
me. Don't twist the ethereal
Everything
knife
is
in me
gray
again.
and white.
So have you ever felt like the ads were listening to you outside of your like typing and
100%.
Yes.
I literally talked about that one weird device that you can put on your back that will like do something or vibrate when you were like out of posture. And I was talking about this with somebody where we were joking about Facebook's always listening, and then it showed up on Facebook.
Yes. So I had a conversation with somebody one time over lunch, and my phone was sitting on the table, and this is something that I would never, ever, ever Google, because why? The topic was, she said, have you ever tried a Toto washlet, like the toilet brand?
Yeah.
And I said, no, like that's
Oh,
very specific. Like,
what,
why would you
maybe
ask
now?
me about that toilet in particular? Never had Googled it. Went back to my desk that afternoon, had been served an ad for Toto washlet
Yep.
Weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like this has been going on for far longer. It's just like us as Americans have not accepted it. Like, for example, I think when Stephanie and I were working for a tech company in Seattle, the Japanese media agency, or we were RFPing one, was telling us about units available in Japan where they were like outdoor billboards, but they were like on the street or whatever, and they could scan the person standing in front of the unit, the advertising unit, and could determine just if it was a man versus a woman, and then change the board according to that.
What?
Or like generally tell the age of that person. So I don't think we're actually that far from it. I just think that like we have a different, like, how we view security of ourselves is very different than what it actually is.
Have you seen the movie Surrogate? Have I talked about this yet?
No.
Surrogate?
Surrogate.
No.
It's like Bruce Willis and some other bitch, I can't remember her name, where instead of them ever actually leaving the house, they have literal surrogates of themselves that leave the house and do shit.
What, are you kidding? Is it a
No,
comedy or like a drama?
It's a drama. And it's pretty intense because it's like these gorgeous surrogates having these relationships only to find out that they're these not so great people controlling them because they can't leave their house or terrified to leave their house.
Oh, so like,
or
they
they've
can
like
act
lived
out.
Well, yeah, or they've condoned themselves to this just like being up. They just can't leave.
That sounds like a movie I will watch later. Thank you.
Yeah, watch
Wow.
Surrogate. It's pretty interesting, and I feel like that's kind of where we're heading.
Interesting.
I'm just saying, I am Bruce Willis in that movie. I'm not even going to be the girl in that movie.
It reminds me of that TV show from a long time ago called Dollhouse.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good TV show where it's like they're programmed with different narratives, and then
that's what's her face who was also in Bring It On, right?
was it? I don't
Kristen?
remember her.
No, it's not Kristen
She has
Dunst.
dark hair.
Gabrielle Union?
Elisha, no.
She was not black. But anyways, it's that idea, right? It's like reprogramming of humans.
Yeah.
So
That's
weird.
creepy. I remember Dollhouse, but I don't remember the whole movie, but I remember like watching it, being very freaked out by it.
It was a TV show.
It was a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I was right,
yeah.
Elijah Dushku.
I don't remember her.
Yep, that one.
Yes, her. But anyway, so let's move on to the next question. 'Cause
Question
I think
3.
Question 3. Question to the third.
Question to the third is yours,
to the
Stephanie.
third.
Bring
That's
it
me.
on. Bring it on.
Oh, bring it on indeed. My question is, you've written it down for me. Oh my gosh. So I saw this most ridiculous question. There was like a series of questions they can ask on like a first date, second date, third date of just like, how do you creep out your date without fully creeping them out? Or how do you know they're the right one? So this question was, if you thought animals could talk, what animal do you think would be the rudest?
Like which species?
Does it have to only be an animal?
Yes, it's
Or
an
just
animal.
like an organism?
I'm
it have
gonna
to be a
go
mammal?
animal. I don't think a bunch of amoebas would all just start
What about
yelling at
insects?
Because like
you.
the cicadas
just
that
be
are
locusts to the max.
Oh,
Oh,
cicadas, yeah.
what a terrible plague!
I think snails would be really fucking rude, and they
I'm
would have
walking here.
yeah, they would have Morgan Freeman voices. They'd be like,
walking here.
"Fuck you guys on my slime trail."
I mean, that's solid. You think it's gonna be snails?
If insects were involved in that grouping, but there's so many different routes to go.
I mean, I feel like it's very situational for myself. I feel like because I've had such a weird past with raccoons.
I love raccoons so much.
I've had a lot of situations with raccoons. One didn't let me into my own house.
Oh, that's right.
On my birthday for hours. I just sat on the porch, just fucking stared at me. That was like, yeah, bitch. I don't give a shit who you are. It just hung out until somebody else got home, until another car showed up hours later. And then beyond that, I almost got into a fight with an entire family of raccoons because it was dark and my dog was outside and there was a family of raccoons that was trying to cross this branch to the other side to this other yard, and I was like, all right, this is about to happen. I'm about to get into a fight with a bunch of raccoons
But
because God forbid anything happen to my dog.
What would the raccoons sound like?
Oh, in my head,
Yeah, like if they could talk, what would they sound like?
I just assume everything in their head is just very mean to me personally. Or it's just like, what you got, bitch? That's just what I assume. Everybody's just like this kind of New Yorker where they're just like, I don't necessarily have the means to back up what I'm saying, but I'm hoping you're not going to challenge it. That's what I assume it's always going to be. And like even most recently, less than a month ago, I almost got into another altercation with a raccoon.
Another altercation.
I get into a lot of altercation with raccoons, which is why I think they're going to be the rudest. It literally ran towards me and within 3 to 4 feet of me veered off.
Oh my gosh.
So I just stood there, which because I didn't realize my animal instinct like situation didn't kick in. With raccoons, you don't stand there. You do not stand there. It's like a bear. You act bigger. I didn't know to act bigger. I was like, I'm just gonna whatever happens. Worst comes to worst, I go to the hospital for a rabies shot. What am I gonna do?
I mean, rabies is serious with raccoons.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I can get a shot.
That's true.
What? I got insurance.
So I think
Everything's fine.
the rudest animal, in my opinion, are probably chickens.
Chickens are
Ooh.
so cute. How could they be rude to
Alright,
you?
what? You think
Chickens are so cute.
Oh, they're
Chickens are not
disgusting.
cute.
They're
They're
so
disgusting.
cute. They're so cute.
I mean,
Ugh.
chicks are cute. Like the baby chicks.
no, full chickens, especially the fluffier they are. I just want to like hold them in my lap.
Okay. Interesting.
I know, but I'm also crazy with animals.
I just think like I grew up on a farm. Well, I didn't grow up on a farm, but my grandparents had a farm, and we'd go there on the weekends to help out on the farm. And my job was to get the eggs, so I had to like stick my hand in the eggs in the nest. And, it was. There are 2 things that were slimy and that could be slimy in that nest, and one was like a bad egg, and one was a snake. However,
a snake?
Snakes would like hang out in the nest. However,
Fucking snake.
these chickens would like just be sitting outside, walking, like standing around, like looking at you, kind of, but like doing their own thing. But in my mind, they're thinking like they're saying things like, "Oh, fuck you, bitch! Like, stay away, yeah." And then you come near them, and they're like, "I told you to stay away," and then they start walking off. Like, I just feel like they're so judgmental in their mind as well.
To be fair, I've never heard of any other animals that if you cut their heads off, they can still go for like minutes.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Chickens scare me.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the same with shellfish, but it has to do with there's like short and long muscles, and I don't want to have to retract myself, so I'm going to keep it general. Basically, for crabs, they have short and long muscles. I can't remember if it's the short muscles, but basically, if a crab's claw were to pinch you, and you broke off their arm while they're alive, that specific type of muscle would still be clamping onto you. It's very similar to eel heads too. Eel heads are like that. Eels are scary.
I also hate
Yes, they are.
everything in the water.
I do too.
That's right.
Anything
Back
that
to
can
your
move in
fear.
the water.
Yeah, no, I have a straight up fear of anything that lives in the water.
Same.
Eels, I love. I'm a sun seeker. I love the beach, but eels freak me out. I almost got bitten by one when I was younger, and my while we were swimming in the ocean, my brother pulled me away, and he saw the head of the eel come out.
Oh.
I went swimming in a river in Texas, and only after I got out, they're like, "Oh, we're so glad you're done. We didn't want to tell you that it was full of eels." And I was like, "You sons of fucking bitches! What the fuck?" And they're like, "We knew that you couldn't handle literally anything living in that water, so we told you there was nothing living in it."
Stephanie just comes out, and they're just eels that have been the backs of her calves, but she doesn't feel them.
Oh my God, they're, like,
with
hanging on the
anger,
back
and
of her legs
eels
still.
are raging with anger,
Like slugs. Oh. One thing that there's an animal that I don't like, and I feel bad because I feel like most people love this animal, but the animal I don't like the most are horses.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we used to go horse riding as a kid, but I just don't like them.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like, well, number one, like I always feel bad that I'm like throwing myself on it and like take me around, but
What
also
about like wild horses?
but I've
They're
like
beautiful.
my grandfather used to like help break horses, so that was his job. So we had him. They had him at the farm, and they also had like a bunch of other animals. But the horses though just kind of freaked me out. Like I just didn't like them. I just felt bad. I felt like they had this so much power that I couldn't control or I couldn't like get away from them. We always try to like get ourselves on top of them, like a date. But I just didn't. I'm not a big fan of horses. People like love horseback riding. Good for them. I just can't. I don't want to do it anymore.
So we were watching Blue Planet, and my man, all of a sudden, I hear him in the other room, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Was this about the eel in the Brine Lake?
No, but I want to know about that.
fucking A.
What's that?
Blue Planet. There's an entire episode about this underwater brine lake, which is an actual lake of salt-filled lake underwater that is so briny that when eels get into it, they go into toxic shock syndrome and they have to literally snap themselves out of it to get out. But that's where some delicious foods are.
Oh,
Like
It's-
toxic shock syndrome, like what we get.
Kind of, yeah.
From-
It's really
Tampons?
fucking insane, where they literally like go into this mental insanity state if they're in this brine lake for a moment too long.
Wow.
And this is just seconds we're talking about. It's not like
Whoa.
hang out there for the day and get too crazy. No, it's like just a couple of seconds just to grab this piece of food and leave. If they can get it out in time,
They
kind of, I mean, I don't want to use the word like spaz out, but
Like
they like
seizure,
seize.
yeah.
They start to seize and they have to literally
Whoa.
mentally snap themselves
Oh
out
my
of this
gosh.
situation
This is like a TV
to
show. drama.
live.
Yeah.
It is. It's Blue Planet.
Blue Planet's amazing.
I need to watch
Well,
that.
It's incredible.
The one when my man was watching it, I forget, he was in the dining room or something, and he was just like, wow. Or no, he was in the kitchen. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, cuttlefish are going to be our masters one day. I was like,
Oh,
what
no,
are you talking
no.
about? And he's like, they are incredible. They are so smart. They adapt to their environment like that. And
Wow.
he's just like, they're going to be our masters.
So they're going to be the rudest animals.
Like, get in line, bitch.
Yeah. Well, the question is, we already talked about in the last episode that beavers are Scientologists. So are the cuttlefish directing the beavers?
Who directs who?
Ooh, should we create a hierarchy of how animals we think in the future will run?
Well, like, whole,
But I
like,
think in
dolphins.
in doing that, though, we're kind of creating a hierarchy of like possible religions. And that's going to get us into a lot of trouble.
Possible religions.
But what was the book I'm thinking of where the dolphins are so smart?
Dolphins are smart.
Thanks for all the fish. What is that?
I have no idea.
Did you ever see the bridge where the dolphins literally save people from jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge?
What?
Yeah, they literally save
No.
people. They're like, it's not your time, bitch. You deal with this life.
Dolphins
as
are
shitty
funny.
as it is.
I think
It's
dolphins
pretty incredible.
are one of the few animals that have sex for pleasure.
Yes.
What other animals?
And for
do-
harm.
I don't know
Hitchhiker's
what
Guide to the
just
Galaxy.
Dolphins rape.
Sorry,
Do
it's
they?
Hitchhiker's
Oh,
Guide
yeah.
to the Galaxy, where dolphins are the most intelligent beings on Earth.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
I still don't disagree. I just unfortunately think that with intelligence comes harm.
I think so too.
Yeah, I feel
I
like you
think so,
can't
too.
differentiate that. But that being said, I would not put it past a incredibly rude dolphin to be like, bitch, you don't get to get out of this so
You mean,
easily. Bitch.
I just envision Wanda Sykes' voice coming out of a dolphin.
100%.
Right.
Like,
Down.
you thought you could jump off this bridge? And just like putting you back to the shore, like, you live, you deal, we all have to.
Dogs. What would dogs sound like?
And
if
the
they-
rudest.
Yeah.
So okay, so
Like
I
cats would be
have
the
I have a
rudest.
lot of opinions about this because my brother-in-law envisions most dogs somehow being like terrible and racist and ridiculous.
Racist?
Oh, absolutely. So whenever I like have this internal monologue for Briggs, it's always something so terrible that I can't even repeat it.
Oh.
But it somehow is like oddly comforting.
Is it a little sexist too?
Oh,
Maybe?
it's all the things you can imagine.
Can you give us like a PG version of this dialogue?
Well, it's like when Briggs yells at something, I'm like, what you yelling at? And he just goes, fuck you, bitch. It's something
It's
along
definitely
those
PG.
lines, even though my dog is the sweetest, cutest
Yeah.
thing you could ever imagine. Where he just looks back and immediately thinks, like, fuck you, bitch.
This
There's
is
something
my
really
barking time.
interesting about that I find really endearing.
See, I've always equated it's like my dog will bark at my neighbors whenever they open the door, which is so freaking annoying. So I live in an apartment and everybody can hear. But I've kind of equated it to her saying, "Oh my gosh, come look now, come look now, come look now. There's someone here." Like I think she's trying to get me involved when I know that's not the truth. But I always want to feel like that, so I always run to the door. I'm like, oh, "What is it? What is it? Is there someone out there?" And she gets so excited about it. I mean, our neighbors probably hate us, but you know what? Who cares?
All I can think of is the Family Guy of like, are you a dog? I am also a dog.
Yes, Brian.
And just yelling at each other. That's all I can think of whenever they yell.
Well, what I'm thinking about now is how dogs would react to humans talking to them in dog voices. You know, it's like people talking to babies being like, "Oh, you're so
I
cute."
do that to
I bark
Briggs.
back to Lucy.
Yeah, I bark back to Briggs often.
What?
I
Sometimes
try to
I'll
match his
emulate
tone
her.
to see if he gets more angry or less angry, and if I've offended his ancestry or not.
You're like, "Fuck you, I love you, come cuddle with me."
But in barks, just to be like, oh, that was not their correct verbiage.
So sometimes if I'm working late in the evening or whatever, Lucy will come up to me and like sit right in front of me and just kind of whine and she'll be like, "Aww." So I will emulate exactly the sound she makes, so it confuses her quite a bit. And I just love doing that, which is so rude.
That's
but...
so sweet. Briggs will like sit there and look at me and be like, "Bitch!" Just yells at me for nothing. And I'm like, "What did I do?"
Briggs has one word he repeats a lot.
God damn it, Briggs!
I wish that you would just have full conversations with him to be
I
like,
do. I'm
don't
sure
be
Pante-
anti-Semitic again.
Again, no, Pante, I'm sure my roommate has it all on like video or on audio of me just yelling at Briggs like, "I don't know what I did to you. I'm so sorry." And he's just yelling at me.
Meanwhile, he's like, "Bring me salmon, woman."
Seriously, and it's like
Poached.
nothing to do with race or religion or even needing to go outside, which is the most obvious solution. No, it's just him yelling.
Or just talking quietly, being like, "I'm going to pee here and look at you. Who's in power now?"
My
That's the
favorite thing to
worst.
do, though, is when he starts yelling, is to orchestrate it as if it's a symphony. So he thinks I'm like, this is my plan, and he doesn't know what to do with it.
Meanwhile,
What is-
he's like, "Why is she doing this
Yeah.
again?"
What does Briggs think of you? Like, that's what I want to know.
The dog loves me so much.
Why haven't we created like animal translators? You know what I mean? Like they're gonna do that one day with
One
like
day.
humans, right? Like you can speak,
There
you can listen
is.
in one language, and then you know.
No, but there is. So that translator already exists for the humans. But like I
Yeah.
have seen things before where like you can put them on your dog's collar, and it can like understand. Says it understands, and it definitely does not.
doesn't.
However, I
All
love
mine,
that.
I would just be like, bitch, bitch, bitch,
I-
bitch,
Like, yes,
Jesus,
me and
Briggs.
Briggs, we understand you. Yes.
God.
But I think it'd be really great to like make a joke version of that. So every time your dog barks, do you remember this commercial, like those fake commercials on SNL back in the day? And
Those
it's
are
like,
my favorite things in the world, of course.
yeah, but they have like
Mom
the farting
jeans.
ones, but like this like butt plug thing you put in, and as you fart, it says something. And it says like, "How about those Niners?"
Oh no, I
or something
thought
like that.
it fart, but it made it smell like new car smell.
Oh
It
no,
was like a
no.
Jim Carrey thing.
There's one that it had on there that would like make it sound like you're saying something instead of farting. So this sound came out. I was like, "Good weather today, huh?" But I would love that for like dogs, so like joke ones, right? So whenever they bark, it says like, "I'm ready for my bath now, please," or like something with like a heavy British accent. That's really.
But what do you
funny.
think would actually say that if you had one on Lucy?
Like if I really knew what she was saying.
Yeah.
I think Lucy has like two different things she says. One is like, "I need to go to the bathroom," and the other is like, "I really want a bone right now." Like a bone. I want to
a
chew on it.
bone, not two bone.
Very important.
Very important. She's fixed.
I think mine would just be really mad. It'd be like either I
Bitch.
have to pee or fuck you, bitch, just over and over and over again, and then I'd put him into my bed. He'd be like, "Okay, cool."
I'm gonna
Or
I'm gonna take a picture of Briggs with like a little balloon come out of his like the talk balloons, and it's just gonna say "bitch."
I feel like what
Not
if you
him.
found out he was actually Australian? And so it's,
German.
I know, but what if he was an anomaly and he just has like an Australian accent when it's translated?
I don't know how to say.
I'm gonna get some Rizoblides.
Oh my
Wow,
god!
your sleeper
That's pretty
agent is a
good.
German female and an Australian man?
No, I only really know how to say one thing with an Australian accent, and it's like you say the words "rise" like RISE, up UP, lights like LIGHT, and if you say that with a little bit of a twang, it sounds like you're speaking Australian. Say it: "Rise up, lights."
Rise of lights.
Sounds like you're saying razor blades.
Rise up.
That's a
Light-
trick. If you ever need to
Oh,
like
rise up lights.
speak with an Australian accent, just say "rise up, lights," and it sounds like you're saying razor blades. Rise up, lights. That's all
so
right.
confused.
There's my trick for you today.
That's
Wow.
our trick.
Anyway, that concludes our episode number 10. And again, thank you guys for listening.
If I don't make it to episode 11, my dog killed me.
You bitch.
You threw her on the
Bitch.
bobby.
Put a shrimp on the bobby and some Rizoblides.
Ah.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, and
Write a comment. And
Write
if
a
you
comment.
write a comment, maybe
We'll
we
say
will
it out
mention
loud.
it. We'll probably mention
we'll
it,
probably
actually.
mention it because we love it.
And maybe you'll get an eighth of a Subway sandwich.
And a shout out.
We're just doing one Subway sandwich to see how many times we have to divide it to those who
Yeah.
mentioned it.
We get a crumb. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week with what should be the Halloween episode.
Should be.
Should we do a little musical number to
You
exit
bet.
out? So we're gonna play some of the instruments. I have this is Ashley. I have the clarinet.
I have the trumpet.
This is Trisha T. Park, and I have the saxophone.
Watch out.
All right,
Oh,
thank
and
you.
there's Lucy. Lucy hates this so much.
Thanks for listening.
Lucy's growling. Bye.